Hey guys, James with Torches and Tactical, and today we're partnering for the first time with Armytek. Now, Armytek sent us their warm white version of the Partner C2, and this is a pretty cool light. Let me just say right out of the gate, probably one of the warmest emitters I've seen from a factory light, bar none. And I know that'll change eventually, but right now it's really, really cool to see this. Uh, but let's get into some of those specifications and then we'll get through everything that's included and then we'll touch on exactly how the light feels and how it performs. So for starters, this is a tactical light from Armytek and it is capable of 1020 lumens and that shines out at 235 meters. Or you have your main 3 mode, which is high, 320 lumens, main 2, which is medium, 140 lumens, and you have main 1. Main 1 is going to be your low mode, which is 45 lumens, still quite a bit of light, but that will shine out for 28 hours. As far as those dimensions go, you do have 123.5 by 25.4 millimeters, so that the head comes in right at 1 inch. And as far as weight goes, this does come in at 68 grams without the battery, so pretty light. But with that Armytek 18650 installed, it does come in at 118 grams. It is water resistant rated IP68 down to 5 meters or roughly 16 feet for 5 hours. So pretty good water resistance rating if I do say so myself. On top of that, it is drop resistance rated. So if you're clumsy, if you know you're going to be in austere environments where you might bang something around, this is drop resistance rated to 10 meters. So very, very cool. And you know it's tough now because of all those ratings, but in addition to that, if you don't quite think that they have they know what they're talking about as far as making sure that this is tactically rated, it does come with an optional, so not included in this packaging, but it does have an optional magnetic mount so you can mount it onto your weapon, and you have available remote mount switch as well. So you can throw that remote mount switch on here and then use your thumb on the barrel of a rifle or a shotgun or what have you, and you're good to go. In addition to that, they do also offer optional RGB or diffused white color filters for the head of this. So very, very cool. It does seem like they've really thought of everything. So I'm going to go ahead and set this down for a second. Let's focus on what comes in the package. So as far as the box shows you everything you need to know right out of the gate about the light. Very, very cool. It does have magnetic charging. A lot of those specifications are right here on the side. Nice bright picture of the light here. 1020 lumens at 235 meters and a max runtime of 28 hours. So very cool. Lets you know what's included. But I'm going to get into that here in a second. So let's go ahead and get the box out of the way. You do have a lanyard, and this is definitely a step above just like a generic lanyard. And you do have a very, very strong provision here on the base of the tail cap that will let you hook that up. Let's get this out of the way. You do have a couple spare O-rings, so just in case you find yourself swapping over to CR123As, which this is capable of, but we will get into that here in a second. But if you find yourself swapping over to CR123As, eventually those O-rings are going to wear out, especially if you don't lubricate them. So it comes with a couple spares. Let's get those out of the way. It also has a pretty decent, there's a lot of elasticity here, but a very decent, granted, I will call it a generic holster, but very good Velcro, a lot of elasticity, and it fits the light very well. You know it's actually made for this light as opposed to, just a generic. But let's get that out of the way. And you do also get your user manual. So this will walk you through the use and operation of your Armytek Partner C2. Let's get this out of the way. And then finally, I think one of the coolest things about this is, sure, it's tough. Sure, it's durable. Sure, it will, you have the Armytek quality, that 10-year warranty that Armytek gives you, but you really want that convenience as well. And that's really, really nice because the Partner C2 does come with a magnetic charger, similar to Olight, but don't worry, you're not going to get them confused. This looks much, much different. In addition to that, it is reverse polarity, so you're not going to be able to use the magnet on here to attract your Olights or anything like that. But very, very strong magnets. You can see it pulling away a little bit, but I got to give it a pretty decent tug in order to do that. And I will go ahead and I will go ahead and get a battery pack right now. All right, so we do have this one. This is the battery pack I've used for most things recently, but I'll go ahead and plug in right here. Of course, USB is directional. And then all you got to do is, this will be sitting down. I haven't seen any 3D prints or anything like that to hold this more stable, but it is pretty wide, so it is relatively stable on its own. But there you go. That's literally all that's included, or all that's needed in order to start charging. So very, very nice. But speaking of that charging, I will go ahead and get into the battery here on the Partner C2. And if you remove this tail cap, there you go. Tail cap comes off. Very, very stiff spring. But it comes with a 3200 milliamp hour Armytek 18650. 3.7 volt rated, 11.8 watt hours. And you can see here that you have that uncoated aluminum. Here, I'll bring it up here for you. You can see that you have that uncoated aluminum, and that's going to give you, that's going to make sure that you get that really good seat, and that will give you the option to lock out your light with a quarter turn. So very, very nice. I do appreciate that, but I'll get that battery back in. And one thing I just realized I didn't talk about, the fact that this does work with 2 CR123A batteries. So if I know some people aren't a fan of rechargeable batteries, you may be that person, and that's okay. But I mean, this is capable of working with CR123As, but you don't want to charge it. If you do throw that charger on here, let me get that battery pack one more time. If you do throw that charger on here with the CR123As, bad stuff can happen. It can void your warranty, and that's because this is going to charge to the 4.2 volts as opposed to the 6 volts that it would be looking for. One thing I did not mention earlier is the fact that right now you have a green indicator. That's because I did top this off right before filming, but this will be red while it is charging, and then once it's complete, it will go to green. So very, very nice. I really do appreciate that. And now if we get into the body of the Partner C2, you can see here, I'm going to bring this way up for you and move it around. This is probably one of the flattest, matte, the most matte anodizings I've ever seen. It is 6061 aluminum, but this anodizing is a Type 3. I don't know how they got it so matte. It feels almost like a chalkboard. But you have these crenulations up here, and those are protecting this glass lens. You have that very, very smooth reflector. There you go. You can see that emitter down there. Again, we will get into the emitter so you can see just how warm it is. And I think one of my favorite aspects of this Partner C2 is this switch. There's a lot of resistance, so you're not going to unintentionally hit it, but it's very resilient. It is very dependable, and every click, I've sat here for literally 20 minutes just clicking this. I wanted to see if there was any fatigue or anything like that, and it feels just as good the first time as it did on that last time, or just as good on the last time as it did on the first time. So very, very nice. You do see these cooling marks cut right here, and then it steps down. Well, of course, you do have high intensity LED, your serial number. This will let you know that it does get a little on the toasty side. Tactical and small warm light, and the Partner C2. So all your signage and all your logos. It steps down to that battery tube. The battery tube is really, really nondescript, but that nondescript battery tube shrinks down quite a bit. It has that same anodizing on there, so it's really nice to hold. But the anodizing, I feel like, is going to help as far as not giving you the opportunity to slip. You have that recess over here. That's going to let you set up that pocket clip. Now, this pocket clip was not installed, but did come in the box. And this is one of the thicker, more spring retentive, if you want to call it that, pocket clips I've had to deal with before. And then you already saw the threads on here, but that tail cap's really, really nice. So on the tail cap, you do have a tactical button here, this large, I don't know if that's nickel plated or stainless, but you do have that large button. Very, very nice. There's a lot of spring resistance here too. And then for that magnetic charging rather, you do have that ring on the outside to make contact with your outer ring on the magnetic charger. But let's just go ahead and get right into the user interface. I know that's what you guys are going to want to see. So if we're here, with that user interface, you do have the option to press down for a momentary, and that will shut off automatically. Or if you press all the way down, it will lock it in. And from here, you do have the option to go ahead and click that main side switch. 1, 2, so here we go. We got 1, 2, 3. So for main 1 or low mode, this again comes in at 45 lumens. Main 2 is 140 lumens. Main 3 or high is 320 lumens. But there is another option. You have that 1020 lumens. So if you press and hold this side switch, there you go. That will lock in that 1020 lumens or 235 meters of throw yet again. And what you can do again is either click it, or that one click will bring you back down to whatever mode you were already in, because it does have that memory mode. But if you think that's all that this has for you, you have another thing coming. So what you can do is if you press down this side switch and then you give a quick full press, not a half press, but a full press on that rear tactical switch. There you go. Now you have a strobe mode as well. So you have your main 1 or low, main 2 medium, main 3 high, and you have a strobe as well. Now from here or any other modes, when you're in this mode, you can activate that turbo mode by a press and a hold again. So very, very nice. I really do appreciate the fact that this is an incredibly easy interface to work. So if you like a user interface that you know is going to go to the same mode every single time, and again, it does have that memory mode. So let's go ahead and turn it on. So here we're on high. Now if you turn it back on, you get that same 320 lumen high mode or main 3 as you always will. So what I want to do now is I don't have a comparison for this. Since this is my first Armytek light, I don't have a light that I want to compare this with. Instead, just because of how warm this is, I don't want you to sit here and compare CCT or anything like that. I don't want you to sit here and compare exactly, it's coming in at 3200 Kelvin versus 6500 Kelvin or anything like that. I just want you to experience this light as it is. So what I want to do now is I want to take this outside and give you guys the opportunity to see that main 1, main 2, main 3 turbo, and even that strobe outside. And we're just going to go for a little bit of a walk. So come on out with me and let's go ahead and do that. All right, guys, we are out with the Armytek Partner C2. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn it on. And this was hold on, let's let it focus. There we go. This was as accurate as I could get for the color rendering. I did spend quite a bit out here trying to make sure that everything was as accurate as possible. So this is low mode. Here we go. We have medium, high, and I'm going to go ahead and do a long press now. Oh, there we go. This is 1020 lumens, but I'm actually walking over to the spot where I typically do my shoots. That way you can see how that 1020 lumens works as well. So right about here is where I typically do my shots. There we go. So you can actually see 100 meters away, that's that light post right there in the middle. You can see pretty decent, for a warm light and only just over 1000 lumens. It's working pretty well. And I don't remember if I have the strobe mode on. No, I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and shut that off for just a second. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the strobe mode on. And in case you don't remember, that is holding down the yellow switch and then giving a quick press. All right, now I have it activated. Let's go ahead and turn this on. There we go. So after high mode or main 3, you do have that strobe here. I'll point it at the ground so you can see. And then if you long press, it'll go into the turbo mode. So let me know what you guys think of the Armytek Partner C2. All right, let's get back inside. All right, guys, so we went outside and we just took a little walk with the Partner C2. And I gotta say, it is only 1,020 lumens, but I like the warm light. I really do. And I don't think it throws quite as well or as easily as a very, very white or cool white light. But to me, the warm whites are a lot more pleasant on the eyes. Frankly, I think 4000K is right about perfect for me. This is just a hair warmer, and that's okay. That's okay with me. Now, one thing I have to say is that with constant pressing of that rear switch, you can very easily hit that momentary mode, but making sure that you do have enough gumption in your thumb for repeated presses on getting that full press and locking in that mode, that there's a little bit more required for the Partner C2 than a lot of other lights. So make sure you get those thumb workouts going just so you can work your Partner C2. You get used to it pretty quick, but I know for smaller hands, my wife, my kids, that may be a little bit more of an issue for me. You know, it's going to work every time. You just have to be more intentional about that press. Finally, I will say that I really like the beam pattern on this. For how warm it is, you get quite a bit of focus because of that. Well, I want to say a deeper reflector, but I mean, it's not a very long light, so it's not that deep of a reflector, but it does a good job with that flat emitter of giving you a pretty distinct hotspot, as you can see here. So again, I appreciate that as well. So guys, tell me down in the comments what you think of the Armytek Partner C2. I can't wait. I hope that we're able to partner with Armytek on a lot of other future lights, just because I really dig the quality that they put into this and how easy it is to use, regardless of what you're trying to do with it. So again, tell me in the comments what you guys think of the Armytek Partner C2. Also, down in the description, I will put a link where you guys can pick up your own Armytek Partner C2, and you're able to view the countless other Armytek lights that they have. So guys, I want to thank you so much for being here with me. If I could get you to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel, that would be fantastic. And while you're subscribing, click on that bell notification so you guys can get first dibs on those giveaways. You guys can get first look at the new reviews and all of that. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.